It is Wednesday, but we are previewing because the Miami Dolphins play tomorrow. What is up, Finn fans? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday morning. We are in the middle of the week. Like I said, the Miami Dolphins are hosting a game tomorrow. Technically, they're supposed to be playing 3 straight home games, but they are playing in Madrid. So they're only hosting 2. And then they have to go over to Madrid and play. And then they get a bye. So what is going to happen in this next 3 games? Well, we'll have to figure that out. But in this video, we are going to preview the Miami Dolphins taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Going to be an absolute banger of a video. But real quick, I do have to shout out today's sponsor, and that is Sleeper. Now, if you don't know about Sleeper, fantastic app. Use them constantly. And we're always we're going to use them to talk about the over-unders when it comes to this game, because there are some interesting little dynamics to this game, especially with essentially the fact that the Miami Dolphins are facing 2 tight ends. So, going to open up Sleeper. Again, you get $20 free entry. But this is what Sleeper looks like. And we're going to go over here. We're going to NFL. We're going to pick the Dolphins now. You see the over-unders. You see Devon Achane, 59.5. You see Jalen Waddle, 61.5. The ones that I find interesting is Mark Andrews, 27.5, and Isaiah Likely, 20.5. Those 2 guys, the Dolphins have an incredibly hard time with covering tight ends. So it's not only that they have to cover 1 tight end, but they have to cover 2 tight ends. And then on top of that, it's another interesting thing. Against the Falcons, Nick Westbrook-Akine had 1 catch for 18 yards. And as you can see here, it's 16.5 more or less. Will they be targeting him more? Ollie Gordon, 16.5 rushing yards. A lot of interesting stuff over there. Go check them out. Use a promo code DDW. You get 100% matched up to $100. And like I said, you can also get a free $20 entry. No worrying about it. Again, shout out to Sleeper. So we're going to jump into this Mama Jam like usual. We got the usual rundown. We're going to start with injuries, then breakdown, and then we're going to go into the PFF. So let's start with injuries first. And short week, but the Ravens aren't that bad off. So we'll start with the Ravens here. This is it. I'm not even like, again, I'm not going to do it. But if I get rid of the full, it's just Ronnie Staley, and he's just limited. They're on good shape. They were horrible. They got to 2-5 they're at now because they had a bye. They were in such bad luck when it came to injuries, and now they're going to face the Dolphins, and they have a pretty much healthy roster. Just our luck. Then you have the Miami Dolphins here. And again, I'm going to have to do it for the Dolphins. Let's get rid of the full. And you can see here we have 2 did not practices in Ashton Davis and Julian Hill. I will be surprised if they play. Bradley Chubb is limited, but it was said that he's expected to play Thursday. He said, I'll be good. It is just one of those things. You got a short week. Things flare up from the game before. You just want to make sure you get on it and correct it. So supposedly Bradley Chubb's going to be fine. Fatu Melifonwu is limited with a thumb, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be fine. And then D. Estridge went from did not practice to limited with a shoulder injury. I think that's why towards the end of the Falcons game, you saw Ollie Gordon returning kicks. Yes. Outside of that, everyone from Elijah Campbell, Mika Fitzpatrick, Alec Ingold, Jason Marshall Jr., Dante Trader Jr., and Malik Washington, all were full participants and nothing to worry about there. Now, let's break this Mama Jam down. and look at the Miami Dolphins offense versus their defense and their defense versus our offense. I'm going to start with our defense versus their offense because, as you see here, some of these stats could be a little misleading, right? The Miami Dolphins defense has gotten better. Their total yardage is 23rd in the NFL. Their passing is 11th, but that had a lot to do with the fact that teams normally run on them. But their run defense went from 32nd to 28, so a little bit better there. Scoring is still not great, 26th scoring defense. Sacks, 21st with 15 sacks. Their third down defense, not good, 43.2%. And, getting turnovers, they have 7. They're 19th in the NFL. Here's where things, again, get a little interesting because you look at the Ravens offensive rankings, and to me, you can take that with a grain of salt because they did not have Lamar Jackson for 4 games, give or take. So their total offense is 21st with 315.7 yards. Their passing offense is 28th, 182.3 yards. Their rushing offense is still top 10 in the NFL with 8th. They still have Derrick Henry. Their scoring is 14th with 24.9. Now, again, you look at the rushing, that's top 10. I honestly think that if Lamar was playing and he never hurt his hamstring, that though the total, the pass, and the scoring would probably be much higher than they are, especially the total and the passing being so bottom tier of the NFL because they didn't have Lamar playing. Now, the sacks given up is 24th and 22 sacks. That I don't think really would have changed that much, maybe a little more because they'd have a more mobile quarterback back there. But if you guys remember, I think it was the Chiefs game. I don't remember specifically what Ravens game it was. He got sacked like 6 times. It was horrible. Their third down defense is still very, good at 11th with 40.5% third down conversion rate. And they are 20th in giveaways, only committing 10 turnovers. But when you look at the Dolphins offense versus their defense, this is why I saved this for a second. Their defense is bad. Like, holy crap. The Dolphins offense is 28th in total offense, 26th in passing, 23rd in rushing, got a little bit better, 21st in scoring. They have given up 18 sacks, which makes them 17th, kind of little less than halfway of being a good offensive line. Third down offense got better. Before the Browns game, I think they were ranked 3rd. And then after the Browns game, they were ranked 13th. Now, after the Falcons game, it went back up to 9 because they were converting more third downs. And they are 25th in the NFL, which isn't great with 12 turnovers. You look at that Ravens defense, and it's not good. 28th in total, 28th in passing, 23rd in rushing, 30th in scoring, allowing 30 points per game, 31st in sacks, only getting 9 sacks, 28th in third down conversion rate, allowing 44.3%, and they've only got 4 turnovers, making them 29th in the NFL. This is a very bad defense, which is different for the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe it is because they started losing some coordinators and all that jazz in the free agency, but to head coaching jobs and all that, because this defense is normally much better than what it was. And it's not good. It is not good at all. And they're getting beat bad. Like they beat Chicago on Sunday, which is good for them. And, they played really well. And you saw Tyler Huntley come out and do what he needed to do to help them get that win. But that defense ain't good. It ain't good. But let's jump into BFFF. We're going to look at the Miami Dolphins. I wonder how many people hear me do that and go, well, why does he do that every time? I started it, I think, like 2 years ago, and for some reason it sticks in my head. We're looking at the Dolphins offense versus their defense here. Westbrook-Ikhine needs to do more. Malik, like these two guys have, especially Malik, have a ton of potential, but they're kind of like non-existent once Tyreek Hill got hurt, and a lot of the attention went away from Tyreek Hill. You have Jalen Waddle here, who is still, 2026 was supposed to be the first year that Jalen Waddle was going to take the mantle of being the Miami Dolphins' #1 receiver. It got pushed on him a little sooner than we would have liked, but he's still 12th in the NFL in receiving yards. So he's still on pace for potentially becoming still, a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Devon Achane doing fantastic things. I'll talk more about that three-headed monster we saw. Tua, much better game against the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people want to poo-poo it, and of course they do. Oh, they were injured here. Look how many players they didn't have. Like the Dolphins weren't dealing with injuries. It makes me laugh that our own fan base, when we do well and every facet of our team does well against a team that no one picked us to beat, myself included, then come out and go, oh, well, that's because... Like, save it. Just save it. You got Deluch and Tanner Connor, who me personally, I think they did very well. You got the offensive line. Now, they did much better against an Atlanta Falcons defense that, is fast. It's got that speed rush and is very disruptive. They held their all, especially Brewer, who I saw come out and make a crazy crack block on one of the run plays. Then you have the Ravens defense. Like I said, not good. Hamilton's good. Smith is good. That's it. The podcast, the listeners are like, why did it get quiet for a second? Because I'm looking at it and it's like, again, their defensive line isn't what it used to be. They run that 3-4. It isn't what it used to be. Humphreys isn't who he used to be. Wiggins, it's like, again, if we had Tyreek Hill here, I would feel way better about what we can do against that defense. But again, I need to see Akine and Malik and even Cedric Wilson, who went in there. He's wearing 19, and he's also wearing the cap for concussions. Do a little bit more. Help out Jalen Waddle. Get open a little bit more. Again, we don't have Darren Waller to, again, be that weapon to help. So we need these other two guys to step it up a little bit more and do some more. Then we got the defense, the Dolphins defense. Again, Rasul Douglas, what a signing this was. I wish it happened sooner, but regardless, it still happened. And he's been fantastic for this defense and for this team. Minka Fitzpatrick, same. Ifatu Melifanu and Trader, that's going to be your 1-2 punch because, again, Isaiah Davis is probably going to be hurt. You're seeing Dotson and Brooks do really well. Brooks is... I'm very happy they brought him back, and you saw him, get a ton of pressure and make a lot of hits. The defensive line did better. Bijan Robinson had 25 rushing yards. Even Jack Jones, there was a rotation with him and Ethan Bonner, which looked really good. But I need to see the finishes from these pressures. Now, Jalen Phillips had a ton of pressure against the Falcons, which did force early throws, which did help on certain third downs. But I want to see him hit the quarterback and make the sacks and force the long down and distances, especially from Chop Robinson, who I'd like to see get more time. And then again, you see their offense. Hopkins is still a good receiver. Flowers is still a good receiver. Mark Andrews, a good tight end. Lamar Jackson, he's ranked low, but that's because he hasn't played in forever. I don't know why they have Hill here when it is obviously Derrick Henry. And their offensive line with Stanley and Linderbaum is still very good. So again, it's going to come down to whose defense really is going to step up in this game. And that's where I get to my 5 things that the Miami Dolphins need to do if they want to win this game against the Baltimore Ravens on a short week on Thursday Night Football. Number 1 on my list, keep that run game. That run game opened a lot for the Jets game, and it opened a lot for the Atlanta Falcons game. And it showed that maybe Mike McDaniel, again, regardless of how late it was, we had to end up being 1-6 for him to actually make some changes. But having Tanner Connor and Dulcich, I think it's Dulcich, did well in the blocking. You also had Brunskill be that 6th offensive lineman. Maybe they continue to incorporate that. Don't shy away from what's working. You had the 3-headed back. Ollie Gordon was running really hard, and then you had Devon Achane with his speed. And then at one point, you had them both on the field. You had Ollie Gordon in the backfield. You had Devon Achane in motion. They used him as a slot receiver. These types of wrinkles will make the defense scratch their head, especially against a really bad defense. So keep the run game going. Number 2 is very simple. It worked last week. Well, yes, technically last week. It'll work this week. You got to stop the run. Derrick Henry, Hill, whoever, Flowers with an end around, Hopkins with an end around. You got to stop the run. You cannot let them do what the Browns did or do what the Panthers did or do what the Bills did or whoever. You can't let them gain yards after yards. And it's going to be hard because Derrick Henry, even though he's up there in age, is still running like a juggernaut. So you have to stop the run and make them a one-dimensional offense. Number 3 on my list, contain Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson is coming off a hamstring injury. He would have played last week, but again, I told you guys on Twitter, if you follow me over there, go follow me over there, that I totally expected him to not play against the Bears and play for us because it's, one, on national TV, and 2, it's a short week. So it's like, look, let's not push him out there for a game when we need him for a short week against Miami. You need to contain him. So is he still going to be his mobile self? Is he still going to be the guy who's going to break tackles and run? And, he had like a 70-something yard touchdown against us when we played them week 2 in Baltimore. If you got to contain him, you have to just let him beat you with his arm. And then hopefully he doesn't. But don't let him run all over the place like he normally does. Number 4 on my list, consistent Tua Tagovailoa. Normally, and here's how this is. I don't know how many times I've repeated this, but again, people pick and choose and have selective hearing when they listen to me. In 2024, when he wasn't due for a contract. Again, he could have played on his 5th year, but when the contract talk started flaring up, I made a whole video. I even said it on Twitter, and I made how many countless videos giving you updates on his contract. I was like, I would let him play on his 5th year because he had 1 year of staying healthy, but I need to see him play consistently more. Now, against the Ravens, he threw the 2 interceptions. Against the Bills, he threw the interception at the end of the game. I need that consistent play from Tua consistently, right? Because we've seen it. We've seen him against Baltimore. We've seen him against Buffalo. Even last year in Buffalo have a very good game. I need that more. I need that to happen because what happens with Tua is he'll have spurts where he'll have those games. 17 games. I think out of those 17, 6 of those games, he's going to have those. And then I'd say another 7, he'll have bad games. We'll throw some turnovers. And then another 4 games will be okay, right? And something will happen and we'll lose, but it's not his fault, but he could have done more. You know what I'm saying? I need more consistency out of him. And that's something I've talked about with him because he's shown that he can do certain things. Oh, he's not mobile. He can't extend the play. Well, you saw him do it when he threw the touchdown pass to Malik Washington. Oh, he can't do this. He doesn't do that. But he does it. But here's the problem. Here's my problem with it. It's not consistent. You need to be more consistent, right? Because with the same team, without Tyreek Hill, without Darren Waller, with the same offensive line, he was very good against the Atlanta Falcons, which was the number 2 defense in the NFL. You could take your injuries and you can put them away. I'm not going to listen because every team in the NFL has injuries, and they still did what they did against the Bills and all these other teams. So I need more consistency out of him. But that's something I've been talking about since 2023. That's something I've been talking about since 2022. I've been talking about Tua and his consistency. Go back and watch my Tua expectation videos every single year. And every single year, you will hear me talk about consistency. I need him to play at a high level consistently. It shouldn't be new to people who actually listen to what I say instead of cherry pick things I say and try to label me as something I'm not. Number 5, momentum. You came off a fantastic blowout win. You shut down the Atlanta Falcons, who have Bijan Robinson and a very good run game and a good offensive line. You have a very good defense, and you shut them down. You have one of, if not the best passing defense, and you did whatever you wanted to against them. Build off that momentum. It is a short week. Take it, enjoy it when you did, but use it going against the Ravens, who have a very bad defense. Now, for my prediction in this game, That Falcons game was a blast to watch. It was a blast to hang out with you guys during the live stream. It was all fun. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you after that Falcons win, everything's different now. Frank Smith is on the sideline. Mike McDaniel's calling better plays. They're using Brunskill as a 6 offensive lineman. They're using the 3 running backs. Look how good Tua looked with one eye. He's wearing the visor again. Oh, this is it. We're going on a tear. We're going to win the next 3, go into the bye, 6-5, 5-6. Oh, we're 1 game out of 500 with the next 2 opponents being the Saints and the Jets. Oh, this is it. I am not doing that because I have fell into that hole how many times? We were 2-6 last year, right? I'm not doing that again. Lamar's back. Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, DeAndre Hopkins, Flowers. They still have a good offensive line. It all will come down to which defense can stop which offense. And I don't have faith in this Dolphin defense against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So I do not think the Dolphins are going to win this game, but I do think it's going to be a fun game to watch if you're neither one of these fans, and I think it's going to be entertaining. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like the Colts game or the Browns game, but I just can't see the Dolphins stopping Lamar and Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Hopkins and all that stuff. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, hey, the Dolphins have a 1-point lead, and the Baltimore Ravens march down the field and they kick a field goal. So I have the Dolphins losing 24. No, you know what? They don't have a 1-point lead. 23-20. I have the Dolphins losing. It's a tie game. We got to make a stop going to overtime. They just can't do it. Prove me wrong, man. I'm kind of mentally checked out. I'm ready for Greer to go. I'm ready for McDaniel to go. I'm tired of going 1-6. I don't care if they come back. It's 2 years in a row of this. We fired Brian Flores after 1 year of 1-7. It's not, it's not going to get better. The insanity rule, you know what I'm saying? You keep doing the same thing, you expect to change. Well, this is 2 years in a row of going 2-6. It's a problem. So prove me wrong. Going into the bye, if we go into the bye 5-6, I'll change my tune. Until then, it was a fantastic game against the Falcons. I knew they would win one against a good opponent. They did. Let's see if they can chain them together. Me personally, I'm going into this lower expectations. I'd rather be surprised than let down. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you have winning? Hey, Ravens fans, do you agree with me? Do you think your defense is bad? Do you think it'll be a close game? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you tomorrow, 8:15. I will also be releasing my pick video tomorrow, so you get a double header. And then Saturday, we are talking about trade deadline. And then Monday I got a lot. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe. We are a little less than 200 subscribers away from 54,000 subs. Slowly climbing my way to 100K. But I'll see you tomorrow, like usual. Stay classy. FN's up.